Hello, everyone, and welcome to Animal Advocates Radio, Voices Carry for Animals, number 475 shows and counting this evening. I want to welcome all you aboard and hope you enjoy the show and hopefully, it'll encourage you to go out there and help the animals out because these animals need our help from all angles out there. I've been doing these shows for almost 11 years, and we are their only hope to carry on. Okay, better lives and futures out there because this is what it takes out there. Okay, we got to take action, we got to work together and do the things that's right for the animals out there. Let the animals' rights be granted, not ignored. And let them live happy lives because there's so many of them out there that don't. And that's why I'm running this platform out here because, you know, I've seen so many, changes out there. Can't take credit, but I am involved when all of us are team players and we work together. That means so much and that's where the changes come in effect. But I just want to go over a couple things before we do get started. My name is Debbie Dahmer, aka Mama Bear, and Mama Bear does care because she's on the air. So we're going to go over a couple things. This show is coming live from Podbean podcast live stream and on the app. So the ones on the web that's listening, you could always join us. There's just a couple steps you got to take. It's not like I'm asking you to run around the block three times, but but anyway, what you want to do is get a free account on Podbean. Okay, it only takes a few minutes and just go to voices carry for animals dot podbean.com. And what you're going to do is follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast. And then you can go to the app and download either from Apple Store or Google Play and go and download that free, okay? And then what you want to do is follow Voices Care for Animals podcast. And there's a free download. I want to welcome everyone that's coming into the live room, aka chat room. All of these messages will be kept and stored on the show for this evening. Okay, so make sure you're careful out there and don't say the wrong things, and we're going to keep going. But please spread the word out there. It's very easy to do these steps, and that's just take a few minutes of your time, spread the word, and we will keep going here, everyone, because we're not going to give up. I'm sorry, Blog Talk Radio closed down on January the 31st, and it opened up this new door. The great news, everyone, is that after these shows are downloaded, it's going to be published on 19 different websites: iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify. I mean, this list is huge, and I'm so happy to hear that. And also on YouTube, if you can all help me out, and because I just started out right late last year, YouTube Voices Carry for Animals podcast. Subscribe free. All the links to where these shows are going is on there under if you read the more in description, and also on Animal Advocates Radio on YouTube. And that was transferred to me from All About Animals Radio, John Bowden, because they closed down. And so he transferred it over to me, and which I appreciated so much. Hated to see him go. He's been a guest on this show several times, and I was a guest on their show over a year ago. So we are filling up in the chat room, and that's great. Welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy the show. And keep, like I said, keep spreading the word. This show is coming live from my Voices Care for Animals website, and you subscribe free, voicescareforanimals.com. Please, you can share at the bottom of the post or the promos, and want to keep going here, going strong, everyone. And it's all because of all of you, all the great former guests and the shows and the callers and the listeners out there. I can't thank all you enough, and all big shout out to everybody that's helped me promote this show. This list is huge on Facebook, and in the groups: Voices Care for Animals support group, Voices Care for Animals Facebook page, also on LinkedIn. All the friends are sharing it from there in the groups, and also on X on my Voices Care for Animals podcast page on there, and my personal page, Debbie Dahmer. Feel free to join me on any of them, and keep spreading the word. We are strength in numbers, and that's Mama Cat with several guests so many times always says, and it's true: power in numbers, making it better for all the animals out there. And I want a big shout out to Darla. She's joining us this evening, and I see Mama Cat's in because I wasn't sure she had damaged her phone and it dropped into the the crock pot. So she made it in. All right, Mama Cat. So the phone is working, and she is a great supporter of my tag team. And I wanted to also announce on April the 1st that Marty Oakley, second year death anniversary, was there. I gave a tribute to her on my page and all the group pages, and for her, because she was the grassroots of Voices Care for Animals. She sadly passed away April 1st of 2023. She was a super team player. I had 163 shows on her network. They're all mixed in, and they're on saved on podserve.fm. So they're all mixed in with hers because I host with her against elder abuse for over 75 shows, and I still have the group on Facebook, Help Stop Elder Abuse, and there's a lot of advocates, animal advocates in there, and I thank you all enough for multitasking, because the elderly, the children, and the animals, they don't have a voice, but we do. But I want to rest in peace, Marty Oakley. You were the grassroots of all this, a super friend. It's so sad she's gone. And her voice will carry on because she stood up for so many issues out there, critical issues, and also on the PPJ Gazette. I'm trying to get that up running again on WordPress. And then I did a tribute to there on her on the PPJ because she was the author on there, but she stood for everybody out there, and I mean all the different topics. But I want to go ahead and bring my guest on, and I want to welcome him back. from the Pitty Rescue. We're going to be talking about some pit bulls again, everyone, because I know that the pit bulls always get the bad rap out there, and they shouldn't. So I'm going to invite him on, and anybody, we're going to be taking calls later on at the bottom of your screen. There's a mic icon. And just press it to alert me you want to come on air. Okay, try to stay from any away from any noises in the background, TVs, radios, conversations. You're welcome to come on board. And another thing in the chat room, let's keep bringing this up. Keep pressing the like buttons and keep this show growing because it's going to take some time, everyone, to get it where I want it to be, but it takes teamwork, okay? But Jeff Coltenback, how are you? This is awesome.
What's up, Mama
Welcome
Bear?
back. It's so great to have you back. I mean, when you come on Voices Care for Animals, you're part of the Voices Care for Animal family, and it's never just one time. I'll keep coming back. The more exposure, the better. The
Uh,
mama bear does care. Yes. And
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me back again, and I'm happy to be here.
oh, I'm so happy to have you, and I'm so glad you made it through all the, you know, going through following and all this other stuff because this is not a call-in number. It's not. They never make it easy, okay? But we did it.
Yep.
I'm, I'm still making mistakes. It's crazy. But anyway, everyone, if you Jeff, I don't know if you've listened to before. He's been on several times. He is everything that he does. I mean, he is a founder and director at Pitty Rescue Incorporated, dog trainer, author. He has several books on. He's on YouTube, speaker, pit bull lover, and advocates educator. Congratulations and thank you for all you're doing there, Jeff. This is so amazing. But you want to go ahead and alert let the audience know out there how you got started in all this, and just refresh their memory, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to get into our topics, which is so very important too. Adopt, don't shop. Considering fostering, surrendering pets at shelters are at all-time high. You know, uh, Thinking about the older dogs and adopt them. I mean, we are. And every dog out there is at a rescue somewhere. Okay, so go ahead, Jeff.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for people who don't know about me, I've been involved in training since the early '90s. My wife and I started getting involved in dog rescue. We actually walked into our very first shelter to volunteer back in 2002. And after doing rescue and fostering for 8 years or so, we founded Pitty Rescue in 2010. And, so it was a match made in heaven because, my love of pit bulls, obviously my dog training career, and then us being in rescue for a period of time, it made sense to just throw our hats in and start our own rescue. And for anyone listening, if you're ever interested in starting your own rescue, just do it because we need more rescues. And that's kind of what prompted me. Debbie and I, we met, I don't know, maybe a half dozen times, maybe even more. I've been on. I'm not even sure. Over the past several years, and obviously pit bulls are near and dear to our heart, and we often talk about BSL, breed specific legislation. And I had asked Debbie if we could change up the conversation a little bit tonight, and she certainly obliged, and I appreciate that, Deb.
Hey,
And
no problem.
you know,
Anytime,
so
because
yeah, and
yep.
BSL, it ties in a little bit because breed specific legislation does contribute to the homeless pet population. So it's pretty related. On top of the fact that half the dogs in rescues across the country are probably pits or pit mixes. So that being said, the topics I suggested that we talk about, I'll just run through them real quick, and we can just kind of chisel away at it one by one, if that's okay with you, Deb.
That's fine with me. Go right ahead.
So obviously,
You rock the airwaves, okay? Rock it. I
yep,
know you will.
yep. Uh,
Yep.
I'll go through them briefly and just throw a little blurb, and then we can kind of, freelance and just kind of freestyle it like we always do. So, I'm sure your listeners have probably heard "Adopt, Don't Shop," and it's not just a catchphrase. Um, you know, those of us that believe that, like, we really believe it. Especially nowadays, you know, there are so, I mean, surrenders are at an all-time high, and it was creeping up prior to COVID. After COVID, when people started going back to work and started dumping all their COVID puppies, it spiked even more. And the rescue community was already strained. The rescue community was already at an all-time high of capacity in animals and stress and low and limited resources. So COVID certainly didn't help the situation. Again, surrenders are at an all-time high. This is nationwide. I'm from Jersey. I live in North Carolina. This is not an East Coast thing. This is a nationwide thing. I have rescue friends all over the country, and every single rescue friend of mine that I've talked to or messaged with over the past couple of years, the, when I tell you they're saying the same thing, and I'm talking about people that have been in rescue for a long time, people that have been in for a few years, they don't know any other way. But everyone I talk to that's been around for a while, they say the same thing. They've never seen it this bad. And when I tell you it's bad, it's bad. And that's why I had asked Debbie if we could broach these topics a little bit, to consider, obviously one of the challenges with adopting a dog is some people think they can't get the dog that they want, and or they can't find a match, or maybe it's an age related thing. Maybe they're older, they're elderly, or maybe they have some kind of physical limitations or whatnot. There are so many older dogs, and the rescue dogs from yesterday, from a long time ago, where everybody thought if the dog wound up in the pound, something's wrong with it. Let me tell you, there are so many good quality pet dogs getting put down every day because there's nowhere to put everybody. There's just no room left. There are so many good dogs available at shelters and rescues across the country. And if you want an older dog, dogs that don't need training, that they're already housebroken, they're older, they don't have those young puppy energy requirements. There are so many. Adopting older dogs is certainly an option for anyone if you have a specific breed of choice, right? This is another topic. There are there is a rescue for just about every breed in creation, right? If you can think, if you want a boxer, there's a boxer rescue. If you want a pit bull, there's a pit bull rescue. If you want a lab, a golden, a shepherd, a rottie, a cane corso, you name it. There is a rescue for that breed. You like small dogs? You got it. Yorkie, Chihuahua, you name it. Shih Tzu rescues, they're all out there. And most rescues are they're pretty breed flexible in that they generally will have a few different breeds available. So that's it's there's a plethora of options for people who want to adopt, and and maybe people would like a dog, but maybe they just don't want the commitment, the lifelong 12 to 15-year commitment, right? You know, you can foster. Fostering. So many rescues, they're constantly looking for foster homes. And the challenge with foster homes is that most foster homes, they are multi-dog households, so they're limited in capacity. So if you're out there and you're listening, and you've been, kind of, you really wanted a dog, but you really just can't commit to that lifelong, term as far as pet ownership goes, please consider fostering. Fostering, it's temporary. Now, temporary doesn't mean 1 week. Temporary could mean 6 months. It could mean a year, but it is temporary, right? Because we need to find and match up adopters with dogs. So maybe fostering is for you. So if anyone out there is considering fostering, just search local rescues in your area, and they'll help match you up with a dog that's right for you and your situation. So I'm going to save the last topic. I'm going to talk about the last topic in a minute, and that's for people who are getting rid of their animals. But um, just to run down, adopt, don't shop. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no reason to buy a dog, and I'm probably going to upset my rescue friends when I say what I'm about to say. and I've been saying this for years, so it's no secret, but unless you need a working dog with a clear and consistent genetic history to perform a function, a job function, right? Like those people, I understand it. Again, you could still probably find that dog in a rescue, but to try and be unbiased and to try to be in the center of this conversation, like, if someone needs a working dog and you want to go buy one from a breeder with a strong genetic history and ancestry of working dogs, I get it. If you don't need a working dog, I'm sorry, and this is where I'm going to upset the breeders. If you don't need a working dog, there is absolutely zero reason to buy a dog. Zero. And I used to be a lot more flexible on that, but in the past 5 years, especially since COVID, there is absolutely no reason for the average person to go buy a dog. None. And it's very upsetting. And obviously, I'm very emphatic about this, more so than I've ever been in my rescue career. But I'm seeing too many dogs getting killed simply because there's no space. And so please consider adopting. And even if you have a breed of choice, you know what? You might walk through a shelter and you might just connect on a spiritual and emotional level with a dog that you didn't even plan on, right? Just give them a chance. And I'm going to save this last topic. I'll talk about this last topic briefly. And I try to help people with this as much as I can. And I'm not as involved in rescue as I used to be. Like, I'm not as hands on. I mean, I work with a lot of rescues along the East Coast. I work with homeless dogs every day. I foster dogs here still. Our rescue has a few lifers. Lifers meaning they'll never be adopted. They'll stay within the rescue for a variety of reasons, health or behavior. Um, but I still have a good pulse on it. And one way I try to help is to help people keep their dogs, right? And I have that as a line item, how to keep your pet instead of getting rid of them. And I choose my words carefully, Deb, when I say getting rid of them. And people say, "Oh, I'm not getting rid of them. I have to rehome them." Look, you're getting rid of them. I'm sorry. I'm not candy coating things anymore. It's enough with this. Everybody's got to watch what they say. If you have a dog and it's your pet and you're trying to get it to live somewhere else, you're getting rid of it. You can call it what you want. You're dumping your dog, and you're dumping your dog on the rescue community that is already at extreme stress levels. So how do you keep your dog? I can tell you right now, most of the reasons that people get rid of their dogs are easily addressed. And some people can't afford training, and this is where I try to help people. I'll do free Zoom calls, phone calls. A lot of things are house issues, whether it's housebreaking or chewing or destruction, or my favorite, they don't have time. They have time to watch an hour or two of TV every night, but they don't have time for a dog. So don't get me started on that. Um, so a lot of issues can be addressed simply with crate training, managing the household, providing mental stimulation for your dog if in the event you can't provide certain physical or mental stimulation throughout the day. There are so many creative ways that you can stimulate your pet, enrich your pet's life, and not have to get rid of them. Because the bottom line is if you dump your pet in a shelter, it's living on a concrete floor and it might not make it out of there. Okay. If you dump your dog on a rescue and you think to yourself, oh, it's going to a rescue, it'll be fine. I got news for you. Rescues are so jam packed. Your dog is either going to wind up in a boarding facility, which is just a nice name for a shelter. Okay. Boarding facility and shelter, as far as a dog is concerned, it's the same exact environment. It's loud, it's stressful, there's a ton of dogs there. And if by chance you find the rescue who has a foster program, chances are your dog's going to wind up in a multi-dog foster home and is going to have to be crated a lot, right? So if you're feeling bad that you'll have to crate your dog a little more, I got news for you. If that dog winds up in a rescue in a foster home, it's probably going to be crated more than you would ever imagine it would be crated in your house. So the bottom line is if you're looking to get rid of your animal, reach out to someone to see if there's an alternative. You got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got I know there's trainers like me out there that try to help out when we can. Reach out to your rescues and see if they have any trainers that volunteer for them that can help you through some things. If you can't afford a trainer, if you can afford a trainer, hire one. You'd be surprised, 1 or 2 sessions you could solve a lot of problems. So that's why I want to talk about these things, because the rescue community needs everyone's help. Okay, whether you volunteer or you open up your home to be a loving foster, or you adopt or foster an older dog. There are hospice foster dogs that need places to go to die. Instead of dying alone in a shelter, you can foster a hospice dog and at least give that dog some semblance of love and enrichment during its last days on earth. Right? There are so many things and so many ways people can contribute. So those are my topics. That's my quick spiel. Deb, chime in and take it away.
Yeah, I mean everything you're talking about, Jeff, is so very important. I mean, millions of healthy animals and adoptable animals get put down a year. Then we could all do so much better. Go visit your local shelter, foster, adopt, don't shop, spay and neuter your pets. We have to be more of the solutions instead of the ongoing problems, right? I mean, it's like a revolving door that doesn't stop year after year, decade after decade. And I know you, Jeff, you have been everything that you're doing. I mean, you're amazing. And a big shout out to your wife and all she's doing, Diana. Thank you, Diana, because this means so much, and you've been there for so many of them, and I know you got a lot of success stories where you're changing that one dog's life or multiple, and they're happy. They can't say thank you, but it shows in their lives and futures and how they're living. And that means so much. So everyone keep spreading the word. If somebody's looking for a new furry loved one, hey, tell them, say, hey, go visit the nearest shelter. You can foster, go spend time with them and bring them into your family. I know with Sugar Bear here was adopted, back in 2019. And I remember her looking at me at the shelter and with her eyes saying, please take me with you. And she reeled me right in, Jeff. I mean, bam. And I said, you know what? And I've always adopted. So I for cats and dogs. So give them a chance out there because it means so much. I mean, to them, because living in a shelter is not a way to live in there. It's uncomfortable. It's very stressful. I know they're safe, but at least, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to, make things better for them because you're going to meet your new furry loved one or loved ones and bring them in and give pit bulls a chance. They always get the bad rap and it's terrible. We hate to hear one bites or this and that, but hey, you can't take it out on all of them. They're all responsible. Discriminate against them. I know so many pit bulls are so friendly and lovable. I lost count, okay? And through neighbors and relatives and I mean ex coworkers, from all of them, I look at it and say, hey, this is why should I discriminate against them? Give them a chance, make it a happy life for them, bring them out of there. Do what you can. Spread the word. I mean, pit bulls are. I've had many shows on them, and Jeff, you're always welcome back. And I will keep on because it's so very important. Every issue out there on them, and it means so much, and we have to keep it up, right? I mean that's what matters.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And that's why, people like you, I mean, I mean, what you do on these shows and what you've done for years, and obviously you're focused on pit bulls, but, just, I have we kind of got to know each other over the years, and, just
Yes.
you allowing me this forum to deviate a little bit from what you normally talk about. I mean, it means so much to me, and I know it means so much to you because yes, obviously we're pit bull people, and but it's talk about pit bulls and shelters and rescues. I mean, all my dogs are always adopted. I got really good animals here. Now, are they perfect? No, but no puppy is perfect either. I've had, when I adopted my dogs, I had to do some training. Now, granted, I'm a trainer, so it doesn't matter what they present. I'll fix whatever comes along. But most shelter dogs, with pit bulls, for instance, you're going to be dealing with less than what you would with buying a puppy somewhere, right? Yeah, you might have some housebreaking issues. They might be a little high strung because they need to decompress from shelter life. You might have to do some basic training, but I mean, oh my God, there are so many good dogs. I mean, so many. And like you said, Deb, you know, so many are getting euthanized just for space. A long time ago, dogs would get euthanized, for if they were in the shelter environment for too long, they might get a little what we call kennel crazy, and sometimes municipal shelters or like rural shelters with limited resources, they sometimes would have to make those horrible decisions. And I won't get into kill versus no kill. That's a whole show on in and of itself. But nowadays it's just like, I mean, it's dogs get time stamped and that's it. And there's just, and that's the thing. And whether you adopt or foster, for anyone out there listening, you can't even look at it like you're saving a dog. At minimum, you're saving two dogs: the dog that you adopt or foster, and the one that takes its place in the shelter or the rescue, right? Because you're freeing up that one space for another dog to be saved. And I mean, how many people are there are so many homes that can be fosters, and I understand some people it might be a little overwhelming to them, but most rescues, at least the rescues I know and that I've known over the years, like, it doesn't even cost you anything. They'll provide food, vet care, leashes, harnesses, whatever, toys, food, you name it. Like, it all they need is square feet. Like, they just they just need the home and a loving person to help that dog be the best version of her or himself. So fostering is I mean, and it's rewarding. And yes, it's sad. It's like it's bittersweet when they get adopted because we fall in love with them, but that bittersweet is everything you did is setting that dog up for their forever stop in life, which is their forever human, right? When they get adopted, and then you take in the next dog and you save the next dog. And some people, maybe they could, maybe there's a bonded pair of dogs out there, and you could take in a couple of dogs, and there's so many ways you can help. And honestly, if there is anyone out there listening that has an affinity for older, senior, or geriatric dogs, hospice fostering is much needed because if you get an 8, 9, 10, 11-year old dog in the shelter and it's just sitting there for a year or longer, they're going to ultimately put it down, which, I hate to say this, but, if the dog is going to live in the shelter, then, and it can't go anywhere, it's just going to wind up deteriorating. So those dogs, they need fosters as well. Even if it's just a hospice foster type situation where, let's say there's a cancer dog in the shelter and they literally have months to live. Yeah, you might say, "Oh, I can't do that because of the emotional turmoil you might experience." Think about what that dog has to go through dying in the shelter alone. Giving an animal like that a comfortable, loving place to pass away with dignity, I mean, talk about one of the greatest things that someone can do. So please consider hospice fostering too.
That's a good idea too, because I mean, when a animal leaves out here, and we know they all do, just like humans, we're all on this earth temporarily, but make it the best, at the end. So you're there with them, and they know, and you're comforting them, because death is never easy for a loved one, a friend, or anything. In their last years or days, it's very tough. So once we get close to them and we spend that time, and we know we did our best, Jeff. We looked at it and said, hey, because I've had it happen in this household, so I know. Keep them until they leave. That's like we're all going to go up to the elder years, and we don't want everybody looking at us like, oh, just kick them to the curb. I see that happening with elder abuse, and it's sickening. Okay, because if you look at these statistics, over 5 million of the elderly get abused, neglected, or exploited a year. What does that tell you? And that's by the National Center on Elder Abuse. Whenever they did that on the elder animals, that is so sad and heartbreaking. It's not like we're going to stay this age our whole life. Them birthdays come up every year. And same with the animals. And we're not going to get any younger. We're going to get older. And we don't know what our health issues are going to be. We have no clue, and the same with them. So when they get the best care and the love and it's not that difficult to take care of them, at all. They need fed, and if they go to the vet and water and love and care and played with and let outside and enjoy their freedom because it means so much to them. And I know some friends and stuff had serious issues with their pets. They kept them. Okay, that was great because it means so much. I just had a good friend up in Ohio. Her dog, is up there in age, and her father just passed away. She took in his dog, which I thought was awesome, and has, diabetes, has to give him shots, but she's right there. She learned how to do everything, and that was so heartfelt not to give that dog to a shelter. I was like, thank you for taking your father's dog. And I said, I wish more people would do that and look at it and say, hey, they don't. After all them years, they don't go to belong in a shelter. Bring them in some a loved one at home or somebody to take care of them because that is means so much to them too. They'll be scared and just lost because hey, they don't know understand life that one of their owners or both of them is going to die soon. So we have to pre-plan this stuff, right, Jeff? I mean, do what's right and help them through the toughest part of their lives. And older dogs mean so much too, or cats or horses or whatever. All lives matter out there, everyone, even all the animals and all of us.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean, you bring up a good point. Obviously, this is a dog centric podcast, but you got cat people out there. There's cats that need fostering and adopting too. There are parrots,
yes, yes,
lizards, bunnies, you name it.
yep,
I mean, if you go
yep,
on, there's websites. One is petfinder.com that a lot of people know about. There is also adoptapet.com. These are they're basically pet adoption search engines where you could search on your zip code and what type of animal you're looking for. So, regardless of what species you're into, there's one out there that needs a home.
that's
You
right.
know. Uh,
So many of them too. I
yep.
mean, from all angles. And you look at it, you say, "Wow, this." Let's do something, everyone. I give them the networkers and the cross posters out there. Even Voices Care for Animal Support Group. They have animals on death row, dogs, cats, whatever. And I allow that, and I give a big shout out to them because they're relentless. Because they only give what 3 or 4 or 5 days to find safety. We were rescued or fostered or whatever, and then they're put down. All ages, everyone. There is
Yeah.
no set age, and
Yep.
that's sad, and it is heartbreaking. So
Yep.
please, everyone, do it and whatever you need to do to help these animals out, be their voice. We can't look the other way. We can't ignore it and act like it's no big deal because it is a big deal. It's going on for way too long. And we need to help these animals out so much because, Jeff, you keep doing what you're doing out there because you are a positive impact. It is such a very dark world out there. And keep it up. And so is your wife, and I hope she's listening in. And she probably remembers you being on the show from several times. I didn't count them all up, but we've been in contact for a while. and you're
Yeah.
always welcome back.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, next time, when I invite you in, all you have to do is take the invitation, the email, click it, and you're in. You don't have to
Yep.
follow no more, nothing.
Yep.
That's
I'm
what.
all set. So
Yep.
one of your listeners made a comment that I'd like to address.
Of
Um,
course. Go
uh,
ahead.
Aloha 1978. And this is something that she's mentioning that at least I know how to train them. And she mentions, or he, I'm not sure if it's a she or he.
It's a she.
Okay,
Yes.
they mentioned they're a first time pet parent. So I am in a very unique situation as a rescuer who has, we have our Pitty Rescue that I can take in dogs and I don't have to worry about what their behavior level is because of my experience. And I don't lose sight of that. And I certainly don't take it for granted. And I certainly don't criticize anyone who can't take in a dog with severe problems. Because, not all dogs are for everyone. In fact, we're on the verge of taking in another lifer because it's a dog that probably shouldn't be adopted out. And he's an older dog, so we're going to set up a nice indoor outdoor situation for him. So hopefully that works out. But to Aloha's point, they're right in that, and they're a first time pet parent, which can be overwhelming in and of itself, right? um,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
they bring up a good point where from a training perspective, just to address that comment is we are very fortunate. We meaning all of us, not just me. I'm a trainer. I'm not saying I don't watch videos and stuff like that, but people who are looking to learn more about training in today's day and age, especially with YouTube, there are so many trainers out there that can help people learn how to train dogs on basic stuff: sit down, come stay, leash walking, crate training. Like these are all like just those things alone. Like if a dog knows that, they're less likely to be displaced because they have their basic skill set and their foundation. So I would suggest for people like Aloha who might be feeling overwhelmed as a first time pet parent, watch these videos, and even better if people are able to go volunteer at a local shelter. And I'm going to tell you, it's not just about helping dogs. You'll also be helping yourself become a better handler. And I can tell you, but from experience, I was training for a number of years before I ever set foot in a shelter. And that was what, 2002, when I first started volunteering in a shelter. And let me tell you, in a very short time, I became such an amazing, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I became such an amazing handler just because of the repetition of handling so many different animals in a short period of time. My handling skills, they just got so much better in such a short period of time. So if people, because handling that's that's a good majority of training is the physical mechanical skill of handling. So if someone needs to sharpen their skills, it's okay if you want to go to a shelter and sharpen your skills. You're still helping a dog. It's okay to get both done. like you know
That's it.
people say it's an ulterior motive. Who cares? Go ahead, go sharpen your skills and help a dog. So what? I don't care why you're helping the dog as long as you're helping the dog. But yeah, for Aloha, it's okay to. And I don't know if they're feeling overwhelmed, but I know that a lot of first time pet owners, and especially if they have a young energetic dog. Like, I mean, please, I had two lab puppies I was working with a few weeks back, and when I say puppies, I mean less than a year old, and they were great, and we made a lot of progress and success. But all it did was remind me I'll never get a puppy. Even though I'm a trainer and I'm doing this a long time, I want no business raising a puppy.
Come on, Jeff. They got.
No, hell no. You know what? You give me a 3-year-old, 4-year-old dog with a couple of quirky behaviors. I'll take that over a puppy any day of the week.
Hey, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch with the puppies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, I love puppies, but I know, what it is. It all boils down to, I know what puppies need, and like right now, I mean, look great. I have to stop talking for a minute to count the dogs that are here right now. Let's see, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12. I have 14 dogs here right now. So puppies, there's no way. I just don't have time for a puppy.
You are too funny.
I like to joke around, but I say that half joking, but it also leads me to my next point is that I know what I can and can't do right now.
Right,
And
exactly. Yep.
when people are looking for a dog, like we have to be honest with ourselves. What can and can't we do? Like, all right, I want to adopt a pit bull, and I'm going to bring this up because this ties into breed specific legislation, and if people live in an HOA, how many times people adopt a pit bull and either the rescue or the shelter dropped the ball and they didn't do their due diligence and check to make sure that pit bulls were allowed in that HOA complex or within a municipality, right? And that technically wouldn't be anybody's quote unquote fault, but it would be because the shelter or rescue should have known, and the person adopting the dog should know what their HOA rules are. If it's a municipal issue, that's a separate thing. But we have to make sure we do our due diligence, not just in breed selection, but in our stage of life or our circumstances in life. What can what can we what can and can't we do, right? What type of dog it would be appropriate for us. Maybe you love Jack Russells, but maybe your lifestyle doesn't support that level of energy, right? Um,
Right.
maybe you like herding dogs, like German shepherds or border collies or something like that, but you have an active household. Maybe those types of dogs that are prone to guarding behavior, maybe that's not right for you, right? If you have an apartment, then you have to consider, can you have to walk a dog 3 times a day, right? So are you adopting an animal that suits not just your preference from a looks and behavior standpoint and a breed standpoint, but your environment? Is that the right fit, right? So particularly when it comes to HOAs, because I see that all too much, because a lot of HOAs, they do have breed restrictions. Pit bulls, Rottweilers, Doberman, Huskies, Chow Chows, Cane Corsos, other Mastiffs, Dobermans. There are so many dogs they don't allow. So that you got to make sure you do your due diligence, for sure. So
Oh yeah, it makes a difference, and always educate yourself, read up on it. Because I got a Alaskan Malamute. I had no clue about them. Okay, so I had to go into and look it up, and because when she was adopted in 2019, I was like, I don't really know much about Alaskan Malamute, so I educated myself, and Jeff, she can howl just like a wolf. and, and she hardly barks. It's hilarious. And so I get her to howling, and she puts her nose up in the air and everything, just like one. And when I read up on her, it said, has wolf instincts and all this. And when I went to the doctor, this woman had said, you know, um, was coming out of the show, or coming out, and she said that she was here to adopt the Alaskan Malamute, but somebody already adopted her. And I said, yeah, that was me, right? And she said, yeah, she was howling, during the week when I seen her. And I said, oh gosh, so you're telling me I just adopted a wolf? And we were laughing so hard we were bent over laughing. But she's, but just educate yourself, because they can withstand below 20, below cold weather. And that's something. I told her, I said, Sugar Bear, one day I'll take you up to Alaska so you can see, you know.
yeah,
but I'll stay inside, okay? But it's so good to do that. Even watch videos, information of what you're getting into, and she is just so happy. All the dogs and cats that have lived here, even when they passed, when they got older, they've all been happy. And that's where they all should be. Give them that attention. Put them in pictures with you. Spend some time. Talk to them like they're humans. They love that, and to care about them. That's the main thing. They want that attention. And with this, everyone, get this massive amount of dogs getting put down, pit bulls or whatever. We have to do something. It's going to go continue after each year and keep going if we don't get control of it because it's so out of control, right, Jeff? I mean, and
Yeah.
is that you? Did you fall off the boat?
No, I actually, I just started my nighttime rounds with all the dogs. So I'm, I tried not to clank and clunk around, but I failed.
Well, you got enough of them there to handle. I know that. No matter you don't want no puppies. They're, you got the big dogs there.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So that's this. Oh, if anybody wants to ask Jeff any questions or comments, in the lower right hand corner, right next to the mic, press that. That'll alert me that you want to come on air. Okay, and I'll let you come on and speak to him. Okay. Okay. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's out there with the dogs, everybody, but we can excuse that, So
Yeah, it's funny. I got this. I got these new headsets too, and they pick up every dang little sound.
it does. As soon as like Blog Talk
I'm like,
Radio,
oh,
we'll pick up
great.
everything.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, it's great speaking to you again. I know it's been a while, but wait a minute. Here we go. Mama Cat wants to come on. You remember Mama Cat? Oh, Mama
Yes.
Cat, send me that invite again, okay? And hold on a second. I'm gonna, yeah, send me another one. That thing's fly by. Okay, Mama Cat, are you there? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
There is Mama Cat. How are you, Mama Cat? And
Well,
happy belated birthday. It
thank
was on
you.
the 31st. I loved it. Yeah.
Well,
Happy
happy
belated.
birthday.
Thank
Yep.
you, Jeff. Hey,
Yep.
I was supposed to be an April Fool's baby, and it would have
Oh,
fit
yeah.
my personality much better. I was
It was.
born four minutes before midnight. I told
Uh,
my
I,
mom she ruined my life legacy. She should have waited four more dang minutes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and Michelle just came back in. Michelle's, welcome back, Michelle. I love another super team player there. Mama Cat and my Facebook friend Carolyn and Gene. I don't see Gene in there. Are you okay? Go, Mama Cat. Hold on a second. Let me. That sound is. Everybody, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, Mama Cat. Go ahead. I got Jeff on mute while he takes care of business for a minute with the dogs. We just put him in the doghouse.
Not the doghouse.
I'll bring him back on. But you have any comments or questions for him
No,
out there? And
I just wanted to say hi to Jeff and to you and everybody out there and let you know I'm still here. And don't drop your phone in boiling barbecue sauce because it really don't like it.
I guess so. I'm glad that you made it through this. And Jeff, can you in the lower right hand corner? There's a mic icon. Can you send me another invite? Because I muted you, but I can't now. I can't get you back on. Something. I'm still a newbie at this. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Jeff, you there? Okay. Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, you're on speaker now. Go ahead. Okay, Mama Cat, you're live and on there too. You're and
He-
Jeff, you're live.
He's showing still muted.
Oh, he is. Okay, hold on.
Said he's
Can you hear
online.
me
There
now?
he is.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Well, hey, wait. You're gonna love this. Not only am I taking care of the dogs, but I don't have my glasses on me, so I was just pressing
Oh,
anything.
my.
I was pressing buttons, and I don't know what the hell I was doing.
See, we're all newbies at this, so don't feel bad.
I was squinting like I was half blind.
Oh my goodness. Okay, baby. Oh
See,
my goodness.
miracles happen every day.
Yep.
Every single day.
Every day, you know.
Good thing,
Oh
too.
boy, that's too funny.
That is too funny. I was laughing so hard I have tears coming out my eyes. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Picturing
Sometimes
all
we
kind of
just,
bugs.
Please, when you
sometimes
said
we
Jeff on the lower right corner, and I was like, oh shit,
just,
I don't know what the hell I'm gonna press.
This is oh my goodness. Laughter is the best medicine, okay?
Yes, it is.
Laughter comes up as slam, stress, and pain. Oh, I needed that laugh. You don't believe me? I mean, you got to believe this.
we all
That
need a
is.
laugh.
Oh yeah, we have to because if we don't, we'll go really bonkers. You know what I mean? But big shout out to my mother Moose. She's in the chat room,
Hi,
aka
Pat.
Pat Dahmer. Hey, I'm Moose. She don't look like a moose, but that's what we call her for another name for mom.
And
Okay,
that's
but
true. She likes all of your friends calling her Moose, Debbie.
yes, she does. Everybody calls her
Okay.
Moose. I mean,
Okay.
we
I
have
just
her.
wanted to make sure. I don't want to
Yeah,
start no bad
no,
feelings.
no. Happy. We have she says she's 26 every year, so we have a happy birthday, Moose 26, every year.
Hey, I celebrated my 45th anniversary of my 20th birthday this year.
Hey, that sounds. Oh my goodness! But hey, if anybody else has any comments or questions for Jeff, that mic icon, and I hope you have your glasses on if you need them. Then press it and alert me that you want to come on air. I think I seen one from Ruth. Ruth, go ahead and press it again with the mic. And I had a friend that or had problems getting in. I don't know why. I got to get with her after the show and help her out because she wanted to come on real bad. But Ruth, if you want to press that mic icon, hold on one second here. Okay, I'm gonna set it up. I just figured out something new. This is great.
Uh-oh.
Uh oh, does that mean it's going to shut down?
Okay. All right.
Okay, go
Here's
ahead.
what you,
Ruth,
here's what
go
you
ahead.
said,
Hey,
Debbie.
my friends, it's Ruthie. You guys here?
Yes. Okay,
You,
there you go, Ruth.
you can
Welcome
hear me?
aboard. Yes,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank you. I am so glad. I will start by saying Jeff is my trainer, and I can't love him more. Um, just for the group, I pulled a 6-year-old. I'm with a German Shepherd Rescue, just so you guys know my background.
Okay,
I'm
no
a foster.
problem.
Yep. I'm a foster coordinator. I'm a foster. Um, we pulled a 6-year-old male GSD yesterday who was an hour from being euthanized. And I
Oh,
just, and I have three dogs in my house already, all males. Jeff's going to be here on Saturday to help me with intros. But if there's anybody that has any advice, we learned this morning from his behavior that he has clearly been hurt in the past.
Oh,
He dropped to all fours and peed himself this morning more than once. And I mean, I'm going to say it. Jeff's heard me say it before. I hate people, but
yeah.
anybody have any advice to how to help me build trust and confidence with this poor boy is greatly appreciated.
so
First, you got to
sad,
figure
isn't
out
it?
why what did he react to? Like, did you pick up a broom or a
No, no,
spatula? Or,
no, ma'am. The first time it happened this morning, my husband was up early. He was just going to close the sliding glass door and just reached towards Reagan, and Reagan literally dropped to all fours, which is a fear reaction. I get that,
yeah.
and peed himself.
Oh,
And then
bless
he
his
did it
heart.
again with me. I'm at wit's end. I feel so bad for this dog, and I mean, and like I said, Jeff's going to be here Saturday, but I'm looking for any advice on how to get me through the next 24, 36 hours to help us build his, what we need to do is build his confidence and his trust. I understand that. So,
Slow
uh,
movement.
right.
So,
Okay.
Ruth,
Yep.
how are you?
I'm hanging, bud.
Right. So right now, the best thing you could do is nothing. Right.
Okay.
So you just got to go about your daily movement. And the most important thing is he's going to cower. He's going to react at times. Don't look at him. Don't talk to him. Don't try to calm him down. Don't try to soothe him through it. Just keep going about your business, right? Um, the main thing is he's still getting used to the environment. Obviously, that's going to go on for a while, but
Right.
we have to make sure that whatever is triggering him is that right now we don't interject ourselves into the equation and give him an opportunity to overcome that on his own. So, for whatever his past was, if you're reaching for a sliding door, like let's just say the reach itself is a trigger, right? We don't want to stop doing that, and we certainly don't want to do it in a non-natural way because he's going to learn that in your environment, that's not a threat, right? That'll be step one in helping him understand this new environment is that your actions are not followed by a fist or a foot, right? Moreover, sometimes being overly loving when they reach that state of anxiety, we don't want to inadvertently acknowledge that state of mind either, where, that again, just from an emotional standpoint, we don't want to cause any confusion. So sometimes, especially early on, just like any decompression, when we have a super fearful dog, even when I have ferals that are here, I just go about my business. But when they do react, I just make a mental note of it so we know what needs work. um, but we just want to go through our regular, actions and routine to the best of our ability. And, going slow and deliberate is certainly helpful, but it's not real life and it's not preparing them for the rest of their lives either. Like, now if you have 8 kids running around, then yeah, you probably need to reel in some children and tell them not to run if it's freaking out a dog. But
Right.
just opening up a door or going into the cabinet for treats or sweeping or mopping, like, we don't want to make that, basically we want that to be a non-event where nothing happens, because a dog that experiences a non-event, they're not going to waste their energy, whether it's aggression or fear or anxiety. At some point they will start to acclimate, and they'll be able to cohabit in the environment.
Okay. I All right, I was about to pull your book out again to read it because I need to refresh myself. But okay, that's helpful, Jeff, and I'll see you Saturday. So
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. And Ruth, thank you for being a part of this and feel free to call, join in anytime. And you too, Jeff, all these former guests, you could get on air anytime and comments or questions, keep spreading the word, join in, like Mama Cat, she's a former guest so many times, and usually Gina is in here. She's from Laws for Paul's Formal. It's great. I love it. You know?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Hey, the more of us come together, the stronger and better we become.
and,
You know?
yep, and it's very informative, which I'm always, I've been doing this for a few years, but I'm always looking to learn because
Yep.
every dog is different, every environment is different. I'm trying to learn as much as I can to set my foster dogs up for success. Either with me or I'm a foster coordinator with my foster dogs. So,
That's awesome what you're doing, so keep it
Hey,
up.
hey, Ruth, can I ask you a quick question
absolutely.
or a favor rather? Because obviously I was talking early on in the show, but can you just throw a couple of sentences out there to give the audience a feel for what the rescue community is currently dealing with as far as overpopulation?
Just a few sentences?
Yeah, I
Okay, let
know,
me.
I know. We're running out of time. That's why I said
Oh,
that.
Okay.
no, oh
So,
no, Jeff, we got time. I didn't
Oh,
set
okay.
on Blog Talk. I put it for an hour, but here I just left it open.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah, Ruth, if you want to give
Yeah, go ahead.
a couple of
yeah,
thoughts on it, just so people can hear from a voice other than mine.
yes. My name is Ruth. I am a foster coordinator, transporter, whatever else for Freedom German Shepherd Rescue. The overpopulation crisis is absolutely overwhelming. And I'm speaking mostly for German Shepherds because that is my rescue. But it's every breed. We need to shut down backyard breeders, and we need better laws. And I heard some of this earlier in the conversation. We need better laws for protection of dogs. It's, believe me, I mean, the one that I pulled yesterday would have been dead Tuesday afternoon. I I caved even though I have two seniors and didn't really want to rescue another dog, but I couldn't let this dog die. I just couldn't. The overpopulation crisis is real. It's backyard breeders, it's regular breeders that can't sell their dogs and they dump them. The one that I found was clearly cared for, but he was dumped. So that was Jeff. That was more than a few sentences, but it's the crisis is so real and it breaks my heart every day because I see dogs being destroyed every day that shouldn't be.
Thank you.
Thank you so much because that means a lot. That means a lot because the more we, focus on, hey, the awareness, the education, to wake us all up, the better out there. And it takes teamwork all the way, right? You cannot give
Absolutely.
up.
We
And it's not
Yep.
we
just
we
dogs.
need we need much better dog protection laws in North Carolina. And as long as, and I'm going to get a little bit political for a minute, Troxler is the Secretary of Agriculture. He's in bed with the pig farmers. We are never going to get the protections for dogs as domesticated animals that they deserve because they're classified like livestock, and that's wrong.
No, it's wrong. It's so wrong. Because you know what? They're not property. They're living animal beings and they should be treated like living animal beings. That's the issue right there. You
But
know,
but
they
but they're treated like property. and
Yep.
that's wrong.
It's
Yep.
very wrong. It's very wrong. And it's like where is the compassion at in this world? It's lacking it so badly. There's animals out there get treated really good and this and that, but the ones that don't, it's sickening. It's like where is the compassion at? Where is the mercy at? Where is the care at? I mean, there's so many heartless and cruel people out there that it's sickening. There's no excuses for it. We all have to bond together. We have to live on this earth temporarily, and we got to make the best of it. Because if we don't, guess what happens? The problems get worse, not better. And we're headed to the 22nd century, and so many. We need new laws. We need to get with the lawmakers, everyone, and get these laws strengthened. Its time is long overdue because they need them, especially on backyard breeders and puppy mills and all that. We need it. We do need it. So, but
I,
anyway, yep.
I couldn't agree more. We have a puppy mill in Wilmington, or a puppy front that is a front for a puppy mill. Jeff's aware of it. I don't know where to start to try to change the laws, because that's what we have to do. We have to change the laws, and lawmakers, they don't care. They don't care. I
And
don't know how to even get that started.
that's another issue, because they have to, these lawmakers, we have to strengthen up. We, the people, have power numbers if there's enough of us, and go towards these lawmakers and say, hey, because I've noticed a lot of these federal bills that failed in 2024, and now some of them's coming reintroduced. One of them is a SAFE Act. It's been going on for years and it keeps failing with over 239 co-sponsors. What is wrong with this picture? How do we get them to get on the floor and vote on the House and Senate side and say this is serious? And we need laws. We need new laws because the current ones are failing them, and it's sad. It's sickening, and it doesn't make sense. So everyone out there, contact your legislators. We have to get tougher with them. Professional and polite, but we have to push harder. We have to recruit more of these action takers out there. This is one goal I have for having this podcast. The new one is to attract more action takers because listeners, I love to have them too, but if we don't take action, we're only spinning our wheels, right? I mean, think about it. So take that foot in the right direction and do something. Take that action. Contact your legislators, your state lawmakers. Let's do this as a team because the longer we ate, the longer the animals suffer, and we need to get them out of harm's way. Because if not, we're going to keep going on this podcast and keep going and going. And we want to see changes. We want to see victories. That's our goal. Changes in their lives and futures. They mean so much to us. And that's why we're on this podcast talking, or out there advocating. This is not the only thing I do on this podcast. I go out there and on X and LinkedIn and Facebook have several pages and groups, and with a lot of members and stuff. But the problem is that a lot of members like pushing that like button and not the share, 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 or take that action, action, action. That's where we're failing on the social media, and I've noticed that. So everyone take that action, and that's where the changes come in. Turn your anger into action, not just talk about it or listen to it on the TV or the radio or social media. Take that anger into action and do something. Help make the changes. That's what it takes. Strength in numbers, Mama Cat, right? That's what it takes. And power in numbers. and together we can make some changes. We got to at least try. Vote for those, whether they're Democrat or Republican. Our House of Representatives is made up of Democrats and Republicans, and so is the Senate side. So if you have an attitude against, oh, they're not my, my political party or whatever, that's not going to get you nowhere. I've been seeing we're not red and blue Americans, okay? We're Americans, and what we got to do right for this country, and what's right for the animals, the elderly, the children. So I see a lot of fighting going on, cyberbullying on, especially Facebook. Where they're arguing and arguing, and they're not getting nowhere because they're arguing with strangers behind computers or laptops. Just a waste of air, wasting their time. They're wasting their time and energy. Come over this way and help us out with these animals. Let's see some action on this side because
So,
that's not going to get you nowhere. Arguing over politics. Nope.
Yeah, and can
sir, this is Ruth again. Let me ask you a question. How do we, all of us animal lovers, all of us on this podcast, all of us that, all of my other friends that are animal lovers, how do we get organized to make changes first at county level? Then, because I think you have to start county level and then state level. How do we make that happen? Because I've been trying and I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
On the county and or the state. I know the state, when you call your representatives, I know you all remember the PACT Act, Prevention of Animal Cruelty. I think it was back in 2018 or 2019. This was a federal law. I mean, this 16-year-old girl started to petition, got a state representative, okay, and as co-sponsors. This thing passed with flying colors. I had her on the show for like 15 minutes because I found her father, and it passed. And then at the time, President Trump signed it, and I said, "Look at this, a 16-year-old girl." You know, you could start out, go to your city council meetings, get with your state representative, okay? And you could be an author or creator of a new law. Or Jeff, are you there?
yeah, can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, yeah. I heard some a lot of noise. I was to make sure you're okay.
Oh, I was trying to squeeze my microphone because I was pouring water in a dog's bowl, and
Right.
I didn't want anyone thinking I was taking a leak.
You are too funny.
God.
Sorry, I
You
didn't mean
know
to
that's
make light.
cover of the mic. You're going to remember this podcast show. You know that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when it comes to laws and stuff, and Ruth touched on it, and you guys touched on it a little bit, is um it first let's we first you got to see what laws are actually on the books, and when forget about the retail sale of pets, because that's a whole monster in and of itself, but just from an animal care standpoint, currently in most of the continental United States, like the basic care that animals require are food, water, and shelter. That's it, right? So, that's a pretty low bar to set for the care of animals, right? That if they have literally a roof over their head, regardless of what that roof looks like and if it has holes in it or not, is not relevant to the law, right? So the basic care for animals, again, the bar is very low. However, whether it's animal control or sheriff departments around the country, they're not currently enforcing that low bar anyway. So when we talk about expanding laws, we can't even get the easy stuff done. So starting there is always a good place because that's where the old thing. after 9/11 up in Manhattan. It was, if you see something, say something kind of thing. And that's literally one of the things anybody can do. If you see an animal in distress, you got to call. And, if you ask people around the country, they're going to, if you say you got to call, they're going to say, I called 5, 6 times. Nobody ever does anything. This poor dog is out there with no food or water and all this other stuff. So that's where, and then you guys talked about, bipartisan stuff earlier too. When you're talking about local politics versus national politics, they're two completely different things. You might have local politicians of one party that don't resemble your national views, and that's okay, right? So when it comes to animal laws, forget about partisanship. It means nothing because the local people, and that's one thing great about our country is that states have a certain level of autonomy from the federal government where, what could be like a pretty strict set of laws in one state may need work in another state, right? Like, North Carolina, we certainly need better cruelty laws for sure, which, I mean, in all honesty, they're not terrible. They're just not enforced. So when the laws that we currently have are not being enforced, then we have to hit them. We have to go after. No, I shouldn't say go after. We have to communicate our concerns to our municipal and our county legislators and lawmakers. And get in touch with local sheriffs or animal control and see how you can make a difference. Those are some ways you could do it. Um, as far as as far as animals being property, this is where, because I am a pit bull guy, and because I've seen what how BSL damages not just the lives of dogs but the lives of their families where their dogs are taken away. I happen to like that by law my dogs are my property. Right now, anyone who knows me knows I don't treat my dogs like a washing machine. Right? I mean, I love my animals, but the fact that they are technically considered personal property, that provides me with certain property protections, right, and due process that the agriculture industry doesn't have, right? So if I had a farm, I certainly don't have as much firepower, so to speak, to protect my herd or whatever, as opposed to my pet dog. Like if someone comes here to try to take my dog, like they're not. I don't care if they're animal control or not. They are not taking my property. They have no right to take my property, no more than they have a right to take the stereo off my countertop. They have no right to take my coffee maker because it's not their property. They cannot deprive me of life, liberty, or property without due process, and that holds true for dogs. That's why I like the fact that dogs are considered personal property. I don't believe they should be treated like property, obviously, but that little angle as far as us protecting our own dogs, particularly when it comes to stuff like landlords kicking people out or like animal control coming to try to seize animals that they have no business seizing, because that stuff happens unjustly a lot of times. But anyway, I digress, so I'm getting off the topic a little bit. But, you know, as it pertains to laws, we got to start local because, municipalities and counties, they have a certain level of autonomy from the state. States have a certain level of autonomy from the federal government. So as opposed to shooting for swinging for a home run, we got to start local, get the local laws changed because they also vary, right? What we deal with here in North Carolina is is not the same that I dealt with up in North Jersey, right? Because there's a lot of rural areas here, and there's a lot of different types of cruelty that some people don't perceive as animal cruelty. And so definitions have to change, laws have to be enforced. It's certainly an uphill battle, but going back to what everyone can do is if you see something, say something.
Exactly, right there. Report it and do something. Don't turn your head. Don't ignore it. You have to take action, okay? And get it to, I mean, share it on social media. Let it get attention to other ones. I just did that earlier today, Jeff, when a pit bull, oh, this is sick. This guy beat it to bled. And I mean, he needs the maximum sentence, okay? I'll send it to you through Messenger, okay?
Yep.
But I mean, it was terrible. I mean, I shared it all over the place. I got to hit X and LinkedIn yet, but it blows my mind how they could do that to these animals and these innocent animals, and they're defenseless and helpless and voiceless. So there's no excuse for it. No, these temper tantrums that they're having, he beat it with a trailer hitch, okay? And
Oh
I was like,
Jesus.
God.
whoa. And it's on my page if you want to visit there, or the Voices Care for Animals, Facebook page, the group, Animal Advocates Call to Action. I put that thing everywhere. Pages I admin on, Voice for Animals. And I'm going to keep spreading it because this guy does not need no slap on the wrist, okay? This animal suffered so badly, and it just irritates me so bad when I see these stories, and then hear they got a slap on the wrist. Oh, they just got probation, or you know, no, or a very little fine. Can you imagine what these animals are going through? They didn't get no slap on the wrist, or there's zero excuses for it. So, we all have to work together and, share it on social media. I've been told, oh, I can't, see that kind of stuff on your timeline. Okay. This is I don't want to see it either. This is the truth and reality of what's going on out there. You either turn your head and ignore it, or you take action and make sure that abuser gets some stiff time, because sometimes they're repeated offenders, and that's even worse yet. So everyone do, make sure they get punished heavily, not lightly. There's no excuses for it. Oh, I
No.
don't want to hear they had a bad day, or they had a fight with their spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, bad day at work. No, there's zero excuse for animal abuse, okay? Just like child abuse, just like elder abuse. Zero excuses for it. We are their only hope to carry on, okay? We
Yeah,
have voices. They don't.
and
So,
sir, I can tell you, this is Ruth again. I have two foster dogs that I'm the coordinator for. When one of them came to me, well, came to her foster, 5 years old, absolutely emaciated. I mean, you could see her
oh,
ribs. She's
whoa.
okay, okay, but she's, again, this is the joy of rescue with the medical cases, because she is beautiful now and she's going to go up for adoption shortly. I have another one that's 9 years old. Same thing, flea dermatitis, was left to roam. He's doing great. But it's exactly what you said. We need somehow, and God knows I don't know how, to change the laws to stop this kind of abuse from happening. And man, I'm open and welcome to all kinds of ideas. I will help however I can. I don't know where to start. I really don't. I see too much abuse every day, and it breaks my heart.
It's sickening. And Ruth, if I'm on Facebook and everything, you want to connect, okay, and make friends or follow or whatever, and we can, I've been even taking time to invite more friends to my groups that I admin on, whatever it takes, on X and LinkedIn, because we want to see active action takers. We don't want to see no deadbeats to just read it and move on. Okay,
Nope, nope.
and,
That's
and
no good. We need action.
yep, well, that's right. In order to see change, we got to take action. Okay, no questions asked. And when we hear these horrifying stories, and thanks for all you're doing, you made your fur babies' lives, I mean, to the fullest, okay? And I bet you they can't thank us, but when we see them happy and their futures and everything, we know we did what's right, right? Think about it. We stood up to the plate and said, "I'm taking care of this, and I'm whatever it takes to do." But yes,
Absolutely, sir. I mean, my fosters are great. They have taken and excuse me, personally for me, the medical cases are the most rewarding. You know, you
that's
can
right.
pull an easy dog from a shelter, but you pull one who's emaciated, who's fearful, like
Oh,
mine is right
yep.
now. I mean, all of that, who has not been cared for, and then you bring them back to health and you make them adoptable. That's that makes my heart happy. But I want to stop the abuse, and I'll have to find your Facebook page and connect. Jeff can probably help me with that. But we
Yes,
we
yes,
have
please
Yeah.
we
do.
have yeah, we have to stop. We have to change the laws in our state. I'm not talking nationwide. I just want our counties, our state to have to change the laws to give dogs better protection.
Yes, agreed. And Ruth, I'm a woman. You kept calling me sir. I got a deep voice for a woman. They always think I'm a man on the phone and on the radio.
Well, hell,
they
I'm sorry, ma'am.
they call me Mr. Deb or Mr. Debbie or Mr. Dahmer. And I go, Mr. Deb, is that related to the talking horse, Mr. Ed?
I am so sorry. Now I'm
It happens
embarrassed.
all the time. No, you don't have to be embarrassed. It happens all the time. They'll say, Mr. Debbie, oops. But it happens. Several times I had a man, as a guest, and they said, I thought Debbie was going to interview me. And I said, I am Debbie. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I sit corrected,
All
ma'am.
right, all right, okay, all right. So I got to chime in here, Deb. You are going to
Yeah,
absolutely love this. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I just texted Ruth twice to tell her that her name is Debbie, and I put her in caps. And then wait,
Jeff, Jeff, I just saw your text. Oh my God.
Oh my!
wait, and then Deb, I followed it up and I put "sir" in quotes, and I wrote is
Sir
a
and
woman.
woman.
Oh my!
Oh,
Oh,
That
okay, Jeff, you got me.
oh God.
Hey, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It does, Mister. Oh my! I needed this good laugh.
Yeah, okay. Well, now I'm embarrassed. Thank you, Jeff, for trying to correct me when I was paying attention to the podcast and not reading text
I'm,
messages.
You
I'm
know what?
ready.
It was worth it.
You
I bet
asshole.
you.
Oh God.
Oh my god! I bet you was ready to bust out, wasn't you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what that does is it throws off the hackers and the cyberbullies. They don't know what I am.
Yeah. That's right. There you go.
Because I'm the invisible mama bear.
Oh God. That's funny.
Oh
Oh
my
dear
goodness.
Lord.
But anyway, so
Oh, but anyway,
back to
Ruth,
business.
yeah, let's hook up. Yeah, let's hook up, okay?
So
Because that means a lot.
yeah.
Yep.
So Ruth brings up a couple of good points. And it's not unique to North Carolina. Like if you look at misdemeanors in North Carolina, like animal cruelty misdemeanors, like that's a hard stop for me because if it's animal cruelty, it should be a felony. It should not be like now, animal abandonment is technically a crime, but it's a misdemeanor, right? So someone ties up their dog and drives away. That's a misdemeanor, right? Now, if we made that a felony, are they going to stop doing it? Well, probably not, but maybe it'll deter people from doing stuff like that. But there are things like overworking dogs, tormenting dogs that like tormenting working dogs that are misdemeanor offenses. Like I think overworking an animal that's flirting with killing the animal. So there's no way that should be a misdemeanor. It should just automatically be a felony offense. Like those are some things that definitely need to change again, not just in North Carolina, but in other areas of the country as well. I know here in Brunswick County there was the Unchained movement. Like there's a lot of dogs that live unchained that I believe that's cruel. Now I understand some dogs live outside, and I'll be honest. When I first moved down here, it was a little shelter shock moving from the northeast to the southeast to see dogs living outside. And I can tell you, some of them live a horrible existence. I've also been to people's homes that have hired me, and I've seen their dogs living outside, but they have indoor outdoor runs. It's climate controlled. They have like posturepedic beds inside. Like just because they're technically outside, they live a really good life, right? So, I don't think living outside should be an issue. It's how they're living that should be the issue. Like those are some things that we could change on the local and county levels. And it's a matter of getting, even if it's 5 or 6 people going to local council meetings or local county meetings, and again, see something, say something. If law enforcement doesn't do something, you have to go to the next level, right? So if you call a local animal control and they're not responding, you have to find out what departments within the county or state that law enforcement or animal control works under, and you go to the next level and you have to let them know, look, I reported this and nothing was done. And you have to, again, it's just a matter of persistence, right? Because animal cruelty and animal abusers and dog fighters, they're going to keep doing what they do, so we got to keep doing what we do.
That's right. We can't stop. If we give up, we automatically lose for the animals. We got to be winners for the animals, not losers.
Yeah,
We have to do it. Okay. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's not going to go away on its own, and or tomorrow it's going to be another better day for them. No, we have to see some action being taken, everyone. So get in there with these true warriors out there, and let's do it. Okay. Let's not wait and stall time. Let's take it. Hey, put your like I said before, put your anger where you're at. When take action. It's not that difficult. Contact your legislators. I mean, meet with city councilors, like you said, Jeff. It's got to start somewhere. We can't just talk on this podcast and just go move to the next without taking action because it's not going to happen. But
yeah.
we got another caller here, Ruth. You could go ahead and stay on there. Heroin, my Facebook friend, can you send me an invite? And Michelle's back. Go ahead. And Ruth, you stay on here, okay? This is
Oh,
great
yes,
having
sir.
you on. You man, remember?
Yeah,
a
yeah,
man,
I'm the
a
one. I'm the one who
man,
needs to shut
a
up. So, yep.
man,
Okay.
a man named Debbie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and Michelle's back. Hey, welcome back, Michelle. Okay, Carolyn, send me a invite. Press the mic icon, and if you're listening on this chat room, everyone, you can listen to it from a laptop, iPad, tablet, and just if you want to interact and speak on air, just you have to have headphones with a mic or earbuds with a mic. Plug it in and alert me with that mic icon that you want to come on air, and I'll let you on. Okay. But Harolyn, go ahead and send me a invite.
I'm
Okay. Yeah, okay, there you
Oh,
are. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Facebook friend, how are
I'm
you?
well.
Go
I was
ahead.
about to say AI's got nothing on you, Deb?
That's it. This is the real deal here.
Yeah,
This is no AI at all.
you know. Hey Jeff, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. It's Yeah. I'm out here in Wheeling, West Virginia, and I hope to pass a law that pets are seen as family members, and they're also can be added as codependents for medical insurance along with us. That's what I'm looking into. I'm still studying it though.
That would be awesome. I would currently have 14 dependents.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd have a bunch too.
Sign me up.
So yeah. Plus,
That
Jeff,
no,
you
that
don't want to. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you some puppies.
yeah, right. No, that's actually that's a really cool endeavor for sure, Michelle. Tell us more about it.
Oh, it's Harlan, not Michelle.
No,
Harlan.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Michelle entered the chat room. She's in
Oh,
there. I
okay.
don't know if she wants to speak, but
Yeah.
and that's Harlan. She's
Oh,
Aloha,
okay.
1978.
I
That's
apologize.
me.
Yeah, tell us
No
about that.
problem. No problem. Yeah, but I'm still studying the laws though because I can't just put it out there until I study it very carefully though. It's very complicated at the moment to
Yeah,
comprehend it.
that's pretty wild. I'd love to hear your progress on that for sure.
I've been brainstorming it though and for a decade since I got Harry and for a decade as a
Wow.
vegan. Yeah. So we'll see what happens though as time goes on if gather info. 14 codependents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Jeff, can you please give out your website and your Facebook page? Because
Yeah.
you
Sure.
got so much going on. I mean, he's got so much even on YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
My
that?
my my website is
Oh,
jeffcoltenback.com. JEFFCOLTENBACK.com. And that has info about me. There's some free literature on there, some links to my YouTube. My books are on there. All five of my books are on Amazon as well. And I have a YouTube channel, Jeff Coltenback Dog Training and More. There's a bunch of videos on there as well. Obviously, I do dog training and I go to people's homes, but I also do Zoom consults worldwide. So
Oh,
I do virtual dog consults for anyone, anywhere. So I've done Zooms continental United States all the way down under to Australia and everything in between. So,
yeah. I've sent you a Facebook friend request though, Jeff. Just so I let you know, I sent you one.
oh, okay.
Yes.
It's good that you told me because I don't get to them a lot, so I'll look out for it.
Yeah.
awesome. And anybody out there, he's on Facebook, so check him out and his pages and everything.
Yeah,
And
all my
awesome
socials
website.
are at Jeff
Wow.
Coltenback. Trying to, I don't. Did you friend me on my public page or my dog training page?
I thought I friend you. I sent you one. I think a year ago, but it's okay. You're busy, so I understand. I
Oh
understand.
God, I thought you
Yeah.
meant like right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, you're
Jeff
14
Jeff
codependents.
Jeff Coltenback Dog Training and More. That's his Facebook.
Yes.
That's his training Facebook page.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
but if she might have, I can't tell you how many friend requests I have. I have 143 friend requests.
No.
And
Um,
I got like almost 200. They all look fake,
There's
like fake
5,000.
profiles.
There's like 5,000 friends, and you can't tell if that's true, Debbie. There's 5,000 people have 5,000 friends, and they have to chuck some of them sometimes.
I know. I go through them things. I was like, wow, because I got elder abuse in there. I got animal abuse. You know, the against the animal abuse. I got that my dad's wrestling fans in there when he was a wrestler. I mean, there's all kind of people in there. You know. So,
Mm.
I'm
yep.
sorry. What was your name again? I apologize.
Well, this is my username is Aloha 1978, but my name would be under Harry Lynn Sampson.
All right, I'm scrolling. I'm going to look for it. Oh boy.
This has been a great show, Jeff. You're not going to forget this show.
No.
We are all newbies at this, and I love when you said about the glasses, couldn't find the mic.
Uh, l-
That's
let
hilarious.
me let me ask a question for the moderator here. I don't even know your name.
Oh,
Yes, you do. It's in your text.
Okay, well
yes.
Debbie Dahmer, and I'm a good Dahmer,
yeah.
okay?
I don't see it, but I'll find it. But I actually have a serious question for you, Debbie. Um,
Okay.
the rescue, my rescue does. We're trying to do a training call the first Sunday of every month, and I would love to have you on it, maybe with Jeff. Jeff's already done one with us.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay.
just to provide advice, training, guidance. I don't know your background. I have no. This is the first time I've been here. I have no idea. Miss
It's
Debbie.
okay. Or Mr. Debbie. That was hilarious because I know Jeff was wanting to bust out laughing.
Oh, believe me, he busted my chops in text.
That is hilarious.
But if we
Oh
could
my
maybe if
goodness.
we could maybe set this up a couple of months from now, I would love to have you and Jeff come on. We usually do it with our fosters because we're trying to provide training information to them. You know, you have this kind of problem. Okay, this is how we solve it. And I'm not sure that's your forte, Miss Debbie.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like on Zoom or something, or how, or what
It's
time on a
well,
Sunday?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's we try to do the first Sunday of the month. It can be a Zoom. It's well usually it is a Zoom, and some of us are on camera, some of us aren't. But I don't know if that's something that's even in your wheelbox to help with training questions.
Yeah, I mean, I will check it out definitely, because hey, the more of us speaking out for the animals, the better, right? I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
yes, I mean, whatever it takes to get the, to educate people, to bring the awareness, to find out how they can help out. That stuff is so important. Because some of them, I help out a lot of people too that has never, been on, let's say, on adoption or fostering or anything like that, or even advocacy. Contacting your legislators. That's so important to do. So I'll be getting with you, okay? And we'll see
All right.
what's going on. And I
All
appreciate
right.
you asking me. That I
Oh,
that I feel honored for that.
the
So yeah.
the more information all of us involved in rescue have, the better off we all are. Because you know, I've been doing rescue for multiple years. I don't know everything. I don't know it all. I mean, right now I have a foster that's a challenge, and Jeff's going to help me with that. But I don't even pretend to know it all. The more information we have, the better off we are.
That's right. Education is the key.
Yep.
Bringing the awareness. And one second here. Does anybody have any more questions or comments for Jeff? Send me a press the mic at the bottom of the screen and alert me you want to come on air, and you're more than welcome to. But go ahead, because I'm going to get ready to close up the show. It's been a great show, Jeff, and Mama Cat and Ruth and Michelle and all of you. This has been, I hadn't ran a long show like this in years, so. Oh, here we go. Jennifer. Okay,
Jeff.
Jennifer, go ahead.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have any comments or
Hey,
questions? You're live.
hey,
Yeah, go
everybody.
ahead.
This is Jennifer.
Hello.
I am one of Ruth's fosters.
Awesome.
Yes, I foster for Freedom German Shepherds. And Jeff is working with me in training.
This is
He,
wonderful.
yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My dogs are hearing you and they're barking. But I have a question for Jeff. Okay, Jeff, when you're fostering a puppy, how do you, okay, let me back up. When you're fostering a dog in general, how do you how do you bond with the dog and provide so much care and love and support, veterinary care, all this, without bonding too much to the dog? Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, and we were talking about this like when I first opened up the show, and I was talking about fostering, and the bittersweet emotion of fostering is that we ultimately fall in love with our fosters, and then we're sad to see them go, but also happy to see them go, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what you're getting to.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So
Or how
it's
do you
not.
not bond? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
you just treat them like your own, like
You do.
because a lot of them, as you know, especially down here, right in our state, a lot of these dogs never even set foot inside a home. So
Exactly.
part of decompression, we all talk about decompression, dogs acclimating to a new environment. Like we don't change our environment, and our environment includes us. We don't change our environment for the dog. We help the dog acclimate to the environment, right? So,
Okay.
all that stuff we talked about, like on our session, rules and structure, daily mental and physical stimulation, like
Yes.
those are the functions that you can provide to the dog. But you're still gonna love on them, right? You're still gonna pet them
Yeah.
and hug them. But I told you a bunch of times, they got to earn the right to affection, right? So
That's right.
especially with like people like you and Ruth, you got shepherds. Like even a poorly bred shepherd still has working DNA, right?
Uh
They're
huh.
still
Yeah.
working genetics. So we can never duplicate a real job in a regular domestic home, but just doing those little things, little quick obedience sessions right before you love on them, that's one way that you'll make them earn it, which makes them more adoptable and makes their obedience more reliable. You're going to love them the same either way. You're just making them work for it a little bit. And what that does is that ultimately they're going to get adopted. So when you transition from your home to the adoptive home, all these rules are already set in stone. They're already ingrained in the dog, that they perform a function and they get spoiled as all heck, right? Um,
Okay.
but it's almost like I would say the like if I work with the rescue dogs here. Sometimes I have my enrichment program for the homeless dogs here.
Yeah.
So like the first week, because it's a 4-week program basically. So the first week, I might do a little training, but what we're doing a lot of is walking. We're doing a lot of enrichment, whether it's recreational chews. I'm doing daily massage, and I'm giving them love, right? But
Oh, okay.
I give them love when they're in a good state of mind. Remember, one of the last things
Yeah.
I left you with when we met was to ignore unwanted states of mind and only reward or validate desired states of mind.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So I don't want to pet and love on a dog that's crazy happy, because then I'm creating a crazier dog, right? I want to
Okay.
work them and let them burn off some steam, burn off some of that energy or anxiety, and then I give them love.
Okay.
And you're still going to bond with them. They may bond with you. There's I can't imagine a way around it other than ignoring a dog, which none of us could do. So
No. No way.
so
No.
so
Not happening.
Nuh-uh.
the best way I know how to spoil a dog and still prepare them for their next stop in life is just implement that resource control, that nothing in life is for free, where they're still getting spoiled. They just got to do a little bit of work before that. That's all.
Okay. All right. That's a great answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, yeah, very good. And thanks, Jennifer, for joining in just like you, Ruth. We got two newbies tonight. This is wonderful.
Yeah,
But
I'm enjoying it.
and
anyway, I'm
and,
gonna.
and we're spending a lot of time on my rescue, but oh, I'm okay with that.
That's right. Freedom. Freedom German
free,
Shepherd.
Hey,
free.
hey, yeah, and anybody that's looking for a shepherd, freedomgermanshepherdrescue.org. Go fill out an application and adopt a shepherd or foster a shepherd. I don't care what you do. Just
Or
Yeah,
do
donate
something for a
money.
shepherd.
and I'll have you on the show. Okay, I'll get a hold of you and do a show for you. Okay, how's
Okay,
that?
okay.
Yeah, I do
I'll
that. Yeah,
okay.
I
I
sure
would
will.
appreciate that. I'll take some of my leadership in the rescue.
Yep. And then
Yep.
we could talk about it. But I'm gonna they'll let us up to 2 hours, and I went over it this evening because the show's going so great and
Holy cow.
everything. Not they all been great, so don't get me wrong. But anyway, I hope everyone joins us next Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock. Wait a minute. Wait, it's 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific. Listen in worldwide, everyone. And our guest, I'm going to welcome her back, Billy Groom. And she's the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Founder at Institute of Canine Psychology. I can't even say that word. but anyway, welcome her back. And she was a former host of All About Animals Radio, too. And so please join us next Thursday, okay? From the app. We'll be coming from the app again, so please spread the word on here about this Podbean app. Free download on either Google Play or Apple's store. And then follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and you're in, okay? So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Jeff, can't wait to have you come back on. This is awesome to have you back. And give Diana, your wife, a big mama bear hug from me and tell her thank you. And Mama Cat, thank you so much for all your support. Former guest, Carolyn, my Facebook friend, thank you. And my mother, Patricia, or AKA Moose, for tuning in. And Ruth, and also Jennifer, thank you for joining us. Michelle, uh, awesome having you as all of you super team players. Okay, so I'm going to shut it down and everything. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Jeff, can't thank you enough. Okay, and next time have your glasses on for the mic button. And Mr. Debbie says good night to Ruth.
You jerk.
You're not going to live this one down.
Yeah,
But
no,
anyway,
no, you're gonna bust my chops on that
oh, I'm a
forever.
button. You got it. Because I know Jeff was ready to lose it. but anyway, Jeff, I'll be getting back with you for another show, okay? And
Yes,
also, Ruth, I'll be hooking
anytime.
you up. Yes, I love this. But anyway,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
all.
much.
Thank you all for tuning in, and hope you join us next Thursday. Keep spreading the word, and you help me make this podcast on Podbean grow even more and more. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
May God bless you all. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. God bless. Good night. Okay.